Hi, ladies. You're on mute. We can't hear you, but you both look so beautiful.
Hey, hey, y'all. I am about to do a check-in to see if they're muted intentionally because they're prepping for some things or if they don't know that they're muted. So I'm gonna go in another room and double check and check back in with y'all in a second. Thank y'all for joining us though. Because Tim is like, what? What is happening? Okay, okay. So they're about to come off mute and come back on camera in a second. They were just getting acquainted. Um but thank y'all so much for joining us. Super excited about today's session. Hope everybody's Wednesday is going well so far. Hey, Miss Ann, thank you for joining us. Brother
I
Tim, hope
love it.
everything is going well in your neck of the woods.
Yes, my neck is good.
Jasada, thank you for joining us.
Always a pleasure. It's always good to be in the village.
I dropped Nubia off to Diamond Summer Camp this morning before heading over to the village house because they're so close, literally like 3 minutes apart. And so it's been good over the past few days from the view of my car see the magic that's happening that y'all are cooking up over at Meharry. And seeing all the beautiful young ladies coming out of the summer camp at the end of the day.
It has been just an amazing I mean, we're still just in the starting part, so it has been so amazing.
Yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
glad that she is enjoying and going, and I'm glad that you are even enjoying
I
the
was like,
pickup and the
oh,
drop off.
look at all the babies coming out. They not babies. They are grown young ladies,
Have
growing
you
young
seen them in
ladies.
their business casual?
No, not yet. I don't think I've seen anybody in business casual yet. I'm gonna pay a little closer attention tomorrow.
They have me so tickled with their style of business casual and just how they are using that to just
Yeah,
express themselves. So it's really nice. It's nice. We
yeah.
appreciate all the support, you know that.
No, I'm gonna have to peep them in their business casual when I go later to pick her up.
I think they have regular today. Tomorrow's business casual, I believe Thursday.
Okay. I was so
Mhm.
happy to hear about their field trip yesterday too. So excited about shout out to all of our summer camps, giving our youngins a place to go, a safe space this summer. Thank y'all. The work is so greatly appreciated. As people are joining, just want to thank y'all for joining us this morning. Welcome to the village. If this is your first time in a long time, as you get situated and all the things, just want to welcome y'all to the village. Welcome back. Hope everybody's day is going by so well.
You too.
Thank you. My day's going really well.
Good.
Super excited to have all the beautiful village team with us in the house today. It's always a good time when we all get to co-work. So we're having a good morning. As we get things teed up, we did open submissions for questions. And of course, as the call continues, if there's any questions that you all would like for us to ask, feel free to drop them in the chat. I'll be manning, the station from my end, while Erica is facilitating the conversation with the amazing Brittany Irby. And so if there's any questions that come up for y'all in the chat and you are unable to come off mute, we'll make sure that we get to those as we navigate the call today. But thank y'all so much for joining us.
All right, Shekinah, you ready for us to jump on in?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's do it. Yeah, I think that's it now. How about you?
Yep.
Yes.
Perfect.
Okay. All right. Love technology. So I was giving Shekinah all her accolades, y'all, saying that she is indeed the hostess with the mostest and keeping us in order even when there's a little bit of chaos going on. So thank you for always making sure that we keep it classy while we're also getting things together. Y'all, I am here with my colleague, with my good troublemaker partner, with my soror, yes, and I think most importantly with my friend. Yeah. And it's really interesting, Brittany, because I'm coming off of this tour of conferences and workshops, yes, and my last stop was with a group of all Black women. Mm-hmm. And so being able to talk about showing up professionally in spaces as full humans. Yes. And knowing that the fullness of our humanity also means that there are layers and dynamics to relationships and how professionally we even navigate that. And so I am so excited to sit here and have this conversation with you, especially because the last time we were together in front of the village was a part of our town hall series specific to the Imagine Nashville. Yeah, it's been a minute. A whole lot has changed, y'all, since that moment in time. And so I want to start by giving you an opportunity to introduce yourself, reintroduce yourself to many. So who is Brittany Irby?
Oh, of course. Look, I always tell my mentees, have you ever made a pitch ready, right? Mm-hmm. I am a two-time grad at Tennessee State University, Chicago native, been in Nashville, which is wild. Every time I say it, almost 25 years, which is crazy to me.
Does that mean me too?
Yes, you too. So we've grown with this city. Let's see, spent 10 plus years in nonprofit, pivoted to PR and comms, which was totally out of my realm, but a new adventure. And then local government came calling. And so this is actually, I was thinking about it, prepping for this, my third role, specifically in this administration right now. So I serve as the Deputy Chief of Staff for Mayor Freddie O'Connell.
Okay. I'm gonna ask you what that means a little while later. Yeah. We're gonna ease our way into that part of the conversation. So one of the questions that we've been asking all of the folks who are joining us for these Ask Me segments, because I want to anchor it in part of our philosophy, right? We can have a pre-planned conversation. We can have notes that we need to get to, want to get to, but at the end of the day, there is still real life happening around us. And I think it doesn't serve us, especially in the impact sector, to ignore when reality is happening literally outside of these walls, right? To stick to a script. And so we've been asking all of our guests on this segment sort of what is sticking with you or what is standing out for you in this moment in time?
In this moment in time, safe spaces, being able to be intentional about caring for yourself. The past couple months, y'all. I mean, we won't even talk about the federal landscape. And as you just mentioned, life happens outside of the perceived roles, right, that you have outside of work, outside of what you might be a part of. You as a person, me as a Black woman navigating this space right now, navigating that space with family members getting older, navigating that space with trying to still show up in some type of way to still be constructive, productive, even though you've got 30,000 things running in the back of your mind around how do I fix it? Can I fix it? Let it go. All the things.
So you started with safe places, and then you talked us through, a snapshot of what it means to be in these bodies and these roles in this moment. So what are your safe spaces?
I will tell y'all right now, the easiest one that I found for myself, my car.
Every time.
Every time.
Never fails me.
My car. I've been riding in silence a lot. Shout out to Hyundai. They have a meditation feature as a part of the car. So I will randomly play some rain or something. I have been sitting in silence a lot because I think that you have to be able to sit with yourself to hear what you actually need. And if you can't hear you, then what are we doing?
Yeah.
And so I would say my car has been very much so one. And also boundaries a lot. So even when, to be honest with y'all, once I hit the house, most conversations cease. I will not have combos about work or yes, shoot a text message, fine, email, whatever, but actual combos and I have to kind of refill my cup. But the car. Sometimes I get lost in Nashville alone. It's just to find a new adventure.
Well, there's plenty of traffic to keep you
It is
nice and busy on the detours. Thank you. Thank you for sharing, for showing up as yourself in the ways that are accessible and hopefully the ways that not only the village but this space give you permission to.
Y'all make it easy.
Y'all try. Please try. So let's dive into some questions.
Yeah.
This one was probably the most difficult for me to script because we could literally talk A to Z, right? And so I said, what matters? What matters to our audience, to the folks who have are not only in community with the village, but look to us to really pull the veil back on some really complicated and sometimes things that are not accessible to us, right? So we're gonna talk that intersection of government and community
because it's real.
It's real. It is a thing. So now, will you tell us about your current role?
Yes. So, in my current role as Deputy Chief of Staff for the mayor, I am one of the other Deputy Chiefs of Staff. So, Patrick Hamilton handles the administrative piece and portion, external large-scale events. You would look to him for that. Specifically for my role, policy and programming. And being able to thread those to drive towards the mayor's mission and vision of what he wants to accomplish. So what does that mean on a daily basis though, y'all? Little fires everywhere. Figuring out how to, in real time, keep programming going for a key organization that we know a community will not be served. It is also making sure that our departments are aligned with us in terms of affordability initiatives. And so every day looks different, but my goal and every day when I wake up is to thread all of those pieces. And y'all, I'm a connector by nature, and Erica knows this. But that's what I use day in and day out to make sure that at the end of the day, big balls, hopefully in government, specifically within the mayor's office, they're not being dropped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you give us an example of weaving the policy and the program together, and I think maybe even more provocatively, in a way in which then sort of that decision-making authority exists at the mayor's level?
Well, I will give y'all a real-time example. As y'all know, the federal government throws us curveballs every day. We never know what is getting ready to come down in terms of a decision, what's happening. We saw this in action in real time with SNAP this past year. I literally helped convene, not just with our office, but community partners, agencies. We're bringing everybody to the table, faith-based leaders. We needed to make sure that they were at the table to, one, make sure that our folks could eat, because why is that? That shouldn't be up for debate. But then on a policy piece, keeping council engaged, right? If y'all think about it, council has the most access, right, to the people of Nashville. So it's working hand in hand with them. I mean, something as food drives, but also fast forward, how are we prioritizing those pieces and lessons learned in this upcoming, well, the budget that just got passed, right? You know what I'm saying? And so it's also making sure that local government, although we can't do it all, we know the issues that are prevalent. We can possibly do some forecasting, but once again, if I had to say the other thing, give me heartburn is every day waking up to see, all right, how are our people going to be impacted? And then where do we move and how do we move to make it happen?
What allows you the insight to be able to carry a message, an initiative, weave that through line, and for it to be a reflection of true community needs, of the voices of individuals like the members of the village and beyond, who I know that you have relationships with because I've known you personally, but what does that look like as a part of the fabric of your role?
So one thing that you will learn fast in this role, local government, you are not the sole entity and provider of all of the things, right? This is where you literally have to go, don't choke yourself with that cape, and understand that you've got other people to help carry that message for you. I would say we are super fortunate. We've got a really good Indira Damu that I know you've known. Many of you might know. She is on the ground carrying the message, but that also relationships is at the core of this. I don't have a problem picking up the phone and calling a council member, right? Good, bad, or indifferent. If we see things completely different, that's okay. At the end of the day, we're here to serve the people. So it is also making sure that you can give messaging to our departments, like 52 departments, y'all, in Metro government. 52. And every time I tell y'all, when I pull one thread of Pandora's box, it's like 15 more fall out. And I was like, all right, so let's figure out how to navigate that. And I think it is an interesting challenge for me to navigate that. What does that look like for your normal Nashvilleian to be able to do that, right?
You know, that's what my question is.
I mean, because seriously, and I mean, I don't think that I realized all of the nuances before I got in this role of what this entire ecosystem looks like. And so, well, I will tell you up front, all the answers don't live with me, but I will help you find one. And so I think that that's the point about this. Like, regardless of if you know the things or if you don't, having somebody you can call who will help you figure it out. That's the important piece.
Okay, let me refocus. Because there is such a, I mean, we can talk about it metaphorically. Who's at a table? Who's not at a table? Is there a seat at the table? Is that a revolving seat at the table? But at the end of the day, it is really about who you know and who you can pick up the phone and send a text to, ask a question of, and for us, especially as we've been exploring our impact in this city, starting internal and sort of building those ripples. One of the anchors is truly on non-transactional based relationships. There is a reason that council members will call me before they go into session because they're curious about something. Because they know the answer is going to come from my relationships with other people, and that whatever, we all have self-interest, whether we name it or not, but that self-interest is in check enough to be a reliable, credible source, right? So how, maybe this is a pause, especially because you said this is now your third role in this administration. Girl, it's been a ride.
It has been
a ride. I think your first title,
Director of Neighborhoods.
So as Director of Neighborhoods and our sort of co-entry point in that space, one of the things that I heard you articulate as a priority, I think there were some gaps in being able to execute because of other infrastructure challenges, right? Was really the power of the people and thinking about neighborhoods in relation to the people placedness of neighborhoods and not necessarily the place, just the place space part. how do you carry us with you? How do you take from a director of neighborhoods to a deputy chief of staff for the mayor? How do you continue to make sure that at every point in the decision-making tree and the power and hierarchy, that community gets to be brought on?
Well, and I would ask the same question to you. Look, I don't, and I let me say that I am first and foremost a Black woman in Nashville, and so I always lead decisions with I'm a citizen too, and so I am also in community. But I will say I would also pose that question back: how do you want to be involved? Because that is also a key. I can't tell you how you want to show up. I can give you the opportunity though, and open the doors and say, how do you need me to get you from point A to point B? How does community want to participate specifically in this? I think that's the important piece that I think I bring to the table is creating that space. That if you say, Brittany, A, B, C, and D, let's figure out how to make it happen, right? Because I don't like prescribing things to people, specifically from the lens of local government. And I always think back to Jefferson Street, right? And how we have had to do a significant lift because trust was not just eroded, trust was just not on the table after the last kind of administration, good, bad, or indifferent, came in and told community what they thought community needed. Specifically around a cap, right? And for the audience, it's a whole environmental green space situation. But however it was proposed, it was not done in tandem with the people. It wasn't done in tandem with the folks who work, live, play in that community. And I have always thought that is typically the downfall of how things go left really, really fast. And so I always appreciate the calls, the phone calls, the text messages is saying, Brittany, did you think about ABC and D? Or I heard from such and such. Please give them a call. Council members all the time slide me influence saying, we need to make sure that we talk to, because to be honest, and I could, 700,000 folks in this city, y'all, and we represent them all, but it is our duty and also an honor, because I know everybody doesn't get the privilege to do this, to be in a space to make sure that you all are elevating what you need in terms of city government and how that pertains to how you experience Nashville.
Okay, I have some. I'm trying to figure out where I want to go.
Yeah,
we have some.
We
have some really great questions in the chat, and I will say this because I don't want to forget it.
Yeah.
And so then I'll come to the question in the chat box. The way you articulated how you show up is exactly how I experience you, right? I think I would say other folks who have worked with you would say very much so. If you put something in front of Brittany, she was like, I don't know, but let's figure this out. Let me ask a person. And if there is an opportunity for community, right, you will be responsive and create that invitation.
Yeah.
Here's my curiosity, and like maybe this is my charge in partnership with you through this particular tenure. How do we build the bench for that? Because there is no guarantee that there's going to be another Brittany Irby in any of the three roles that you have already occupied during this administration ever again. So much so that you come into a room with community and say, we are the revolving door, right? I am not consistent. You are.
Yeah.
Okay. So because of that, then what is our duty to creating the bench that allows for that type of not only invitation, but actually like proactive integration? Because what I am noticing in this journey right now is we are figuring out what is the village's relationships in city government, what is our collective advocacy and voice capable of accomplishing, right? That is a uniqueness in this particular landscape. And I'm studying the other cities. I'm studying the other cross-section or right? All these partnerships, right? you have to build a system that can sustain that type of intentional integration of community beyond the person. We need the model.
Yeah.
What's the policy that's going to follow it? And what are we putting in writing, right? So, what's the principle that will be in place that will outlive you, outlive Freddie, outlive whoever is next?
Yeah.
Because that's the only way that we're going to build long-term community power.
Yeah.
Right. It has to go. Our relationships are the entry point. And I think where we have not actualize our power is realizing what happens beyond those individual relationships. It's great that there's an Erica and a Brittany. We've been saying this for as long as we've been doing this song for the last 3 years.
Like, Brittany, one day we'll ride into the sunset.
And where's our individual journeys going to take us, and how the system's been shaped in a different way.
Yeah.
And so that is my invitation. I've been asking. I asked Dr. Ariola.
Yeah.
I asked how. Like, my invitation to you and to us is to get curious about what can be institutionalized that creates the type of voice and agency and space that you have curated. And now we know there's not a culture that is too affirming for it. So then what do we need to have infused into the system?
So things that I have discovered in this space and place, and to your point, you hit on the policy piece because that's important. When I say council is a pivotal piece of this city, y'all. So whatever that looks like for you as an individual, whether it be you figuring out I need to run, you figuring out that you want to show up to community meetings, committee meetings, they meet every Monday. Well, every other Monday before council, specifically around key committees within council. A lot of decision making happens in those rooms. Sometimes, and I encourage people, I would just pop up on the chamber floor and like have conversations with council members, right? Because it's one thing to have the mayor's office, absolutely. But as Erica said, we are not the constant. No administration is the constant, right? So what are the constants? You're always gonna have a council, your departments, right? That is where I think, and I am still full moment of transparency, really threading in my head around ensuring that community is at the forefront in a, to your point, in a concrete, intentional way for the decision making of our city. But then my brain goes, is where board and commissions comes in. Right. And then you say, well, Brittany, what does that even look like? Well, let's do it. Let's talk. But whether I'm here or not, there will always be a director of boards and commissions, right? They control a good chunk of our budget in this city. And so you always say, you know what the city's priorities are when you follow the money. And so what does that look like in terms of how do you want to experience Nashville? There are several entry points that, once again, that I think beyond the mayor's office, that are real time action items. I tell organizations all the time, I say, pay attention to who the budget and finance chair is. Every 100%. Vice chair appoints the budget and finance chair every year. I said, as soon as you find out who that is, start meeting with them, right? Cultivating relationships. Go present to Black and Minority Caucus, or just sit and listen in the room, right? What are we as a city, multi-layered, prioritizing for the people of Nashville? So to your point, that is really where the systems and like rewriting of that policy and resolutions and executive orders and all of those things start really getting into play. You can also pull the bills that your council members have passed, right? So that's the thing. I was like, I think that, yes, is local government, Metro Nashville, a behemoth? The way that I have to take it in chunks, right? And so there are some ways that outlive me in this space that I know our voices are needed.
Yeah. Well, you hit on some council district specific, so I have a couple questions for you. Why is the Global Mall still sitting half demoed?
Okay.
You want to just start with that one?
I can start with it. That falls under our development director. Now, I will tell y'all I'm good about staying in my lane. But also, that's a good question, and I'm happy to follow up for you
Mhm.
and get you an actual answer of where we are right now, because it is an essential piece to the community. And so happy to follow up. But yes, Chris Costner on our team is heading up that project. So happy to
Okay.
figure it out.
The second question there is, what's the mayor's stance on the data center at Fisk in comparison or contrast to the ones folks are against building near the zoo?
Yes.
If I can.
No, great question. We have all been breathing, eating, and sleeping data centers.
Yes.
One, let me say this. Where you talk about the policy piece, shout out to council.
They did that.
Because once again, you talk about the policy, they put that piece in place, right? The mayor, through the executive order that dropped yesterday, the policy piece sets the foundation. Mayor has directed our departments to lean in. Because when you talk about, once again, the constant, that was the trigger then to say, hey, out of those 52 departments where this might be a domino effect, I need you to figure out the kind of the impact for Nashville as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so we are actively taking steps. Now, I will say the Fisk Data Center is a concept. It's not even real yet. They don't have a partner. Last time I checked, even before all of the energy started swirling around the Nashville Zoo, they had actively decided to kind of pause that.
The zoo project?
No, fits, and give some more thought to that piece in particular. So I know that is not even baked yet. And so I think the interesting piece around council hitting us with that policy piece, mayor coming in with the EO specifically for departments, it starts to, in action, put parameters around what this looks like for Nashville going forward.
What?
Also, this is, I will say, private land.
Right.
And so I think that is the difference between those two as well, the public and private piece.
So, I want to pull back a layer. There was a resolution, council brought a resolution.
Yes.
It was a hold or a cease. Moratorium, thank you, for the data center. And then you said, and then the mayor came behind it with his executive order. Talk to us about like the relationship between.
Yeah.
Those
will run in tandem. Yes, absolutely. Those will run in tandem. So shout out to the legislative team. Y'all, they do some lifts that I would not want to. But specifically Brian Sexton and Dave Rosenberg, constant communication with council, specifically around stuff like this. I mean, when you are officially making GMA in the morning and you've got Roland Martin and Nashville is the top of the town right now, in terms of data centers, and also people are looking to us to guide the conversation. So I think the way that this is definitely working is council literally saying, we got to go ahead and do something, right? Behind the scenes, Dave and Brian and their team were moving internally to make sure that like our departments need to be ready to take this on too, and not just let's think about it. We got to come back with some real concrete actions, and that directive could only come from the mayor.
Got it.
Yeah.
One of the roles that the village is committed to serving our membership base, and as we are living into our own strategic plan and direction, is to really help to serve as that bridge.
Yeah.
Right. Like I knew things were moving just because of the buzz on my other side of my phone. You are clearly steeped in it. What does that look like and mean for folks who are only getting captions on the other side of their social media newsfeed that, right? And so how do we become better informed and civically equipped as a community? If I know that a resolution will do X.
Yeah. So let me tell you, one of the things that I wish this was like actually widely advertised. Go to NashvilleNewsletters.org, y'all. That is every newsletter dropped by a council member. Like, and it is a database. They bank it. You will be able to find the most recent one. They are actively communicating around recent resolutions, legislation, what's moving. And so if you want to keep up with specifically what's happening, please do that. I say the village keep being a convener. We talk about, I know I'm jumping ahead, so don't like kick me under the table.
And
But we talk about accountability, and I tell folks I'm happy to come have the conversation. And if I've got to bring subject matter experts to have the convo so everybody can be informed, let's do it. Indira, who I mentioned earlier from the Office of Civic and Community Engagement, they are currently hosting, they will come to you in your neighborhood group, your community group, your nonprofit to walk you through currently right now what's in the budget. How does that affect you in real time? Happy to set those up too. Call us in so we can give you the info in real time. Happy to do that. But also, Mayor does a media roundtable every Friday. So tune into those. Happy to send out snapshots to you all as well around key highlights and points. We can get on the cadence and work with our comms team to make sure that in real time, this community, so you all can share with your communities, are actually getting the information as well.
sounds right aligned with how we need to be gathering and distributing information. Thank you for that, Brittany. I do appreciate it.
Yeah.
If y'all have any additional questions, please go ahead and drop them in the chat. There's a long one.
Oh, this is a good one.
Let's see.
I think it is.
This is from Ms. Vicky Harris.
Hi, Vicky. I hope all is well.
As Deputy Chief of Staff, how would you advise on starting a conversation with the mayor related to one, infrastructure/glue funding needed to overcome the known fragmentation to support a rich portfolio of frontline community service projects, access and navigation of basic needs services is one of the 4 key community health as part of the CHIP plan. So I believe the first part of your question, Ms. Vicky, is about essentially is the infrastructure funding that aligns with, specifically in this instance, with CHIP. I want to hijack the question so you can make mine separate, but I actually have a curiosity about the philosophy overall with our plans, our task force, and then where and how budgets are misaligned. And then the second part of Ms. Vicky's question is the policy changes to allow a large piece of public land being dedicated to a whole person community land trust, not just diverse housing, but intentionally focused on integrated health and wealth building elements. Okay, so I think the community land trust approach protects the land from gentrification now and for future generations, or use. Okay, so Ms. Vicky went and talked to us about the actual community land trust process and what that protects. So the first one is around essentially that funding to overcome the fragmentation.
Yes.
And then the second one is specific to community land trust.
So this is a great time to start having the conversation now, Ms. Vicky. Absolutely. Scheduling at Nashville.gov is how you request a meeting with the mayor, 1. But 2, absolutely, let's start talking about funding now. When I mentioned earlier, as soon as Vice Chair assigns that new budget and finance chair, let's make sure you get on their calendars. So you can have both conversations. But then I would also say a third layer, what departments affect specifically the work you're doing, and let's set up a meeting with you and the director, because they also have their own separate budgets that can influence how that moves along. But yes, I'm happy to sit down, Ms. Vicky, and talk through what that looks like. But yes, I think this is the time to start talking about it now, since we just passed the budget yesterday. That's a great segue. Yes, we cannot wait until the budget is like 2 weeks out to drop. Let's wholeheartedly, these are the type of seeds, start planting them now. Start having key conversations around what matters, what we as a city should be prioritizing for community. And let's make sure those are continuous. So when those conversations start happening with departments, yes, I've heard from Ms. Vicky. She said A, B, C, and D. This aligns with 1, 2, 3. Yes, absolutely. Let's do it.
And then the second part of the question was around the community land trust. policy changes to allow a piece of public land to be dedicated to being, I think, a community land trust.
Yes. So that one is a little bit outside of my scope.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna write that down to make sure I follow up.
Okay.
Yep. Because I think that's a blend of our legislative team and our development team for me to get a thoughtful response to that.
Miss Vicky, anything else? Are you good? She gave the thumbs up. Okay.
Yes,
Thank
I'm
you.
good. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Um,
I love when I see your thought focus going.
well,
Direction of
there's the thought bubbles. They are absolutely going. And then I open up my actual questions that I prepped, and the next one is around accountability. And everything that you said, I know is true.
Mhm.
Right? And what is also true is that in the budget that was passed, the community safety budget was reduced down to $1 million. Which means that many of the village boards who are even on this call, we ourselves will be playing a different type of Hunger Games within the next couple of months. And I'm having some internal conflict, right? Like there is what I know to be true is that, and I appreciate all the ways in which this administration has allowed me to exercise agency on behalf of the communities that I serve. I also know that I sit every other week in a room for multiple hours, consuming a lot of information and communicating back and forth as a part of the task force without pay after hours for then that same budget to be cut, Brittany.
Mhm.
So I'm really curious about the abilities for us to one sit with that as some real effed up tension, and almost affirms the apprehension that many of us had walking into that room in the first place. Okay. But then also knowing that void of our presence, where would there be that voice, right? How do we hold government accountable without being pimped?
Okay. That is really good. That is really good. I'm thinking, y'all, so give me a minute.
Yeah, this was a new question. This is not on the sheet.
No. And I mean,
on the sheet is
very much so appropriate, right? Because there is no easy way around this. I was just telling my team, I was like, you gotta go sit in it for a minute.
Yeah. Let it wash over you.
You do.
What else we gonna do? We are literally here. The budget was literally cut. I have literally come back early from vacations to sit on that task force, and our budget was cut. Mm-hmm. And now I'm gonna be in competition with the same population that this work was created to serve. Girl, I got real feelings.
You should. Here's the thing, and I'm gonna preemptively say this. I don't think anything I say in this moment will make it better. That's one. So I'm not. Let me tell you, I'm not gonna blow smoke up your, I can't say that official channels, but y'all get it. So yes, it's a hard truth. What I will tell y'all is, unfortunately, we had to tell departments that they needed to cut 1.5% out of their budgets across the board. Mm-hmm. What I will tell y'all are revenues are flat, and we are not doing what we should be doing in terms of the dollars, right? So is there an easy way around this? No. Do I internally say to our director of advancement, please go find us some additional dollars to where we can support and help fill in gaps? Because I also know that if we don't have y'all doing the work, then who, what, when, and where. But I also know you all can't keep doing this work for pennies, nor should you. I don't know, Erica.
And I think that's why I have it was able to come out coupled with accountability.
Yeah.
Because we said yes. Mm-hmm. Right? We said yes to serving and occupying a space because we understood the long game.
Yeah.
The issue is that in the short run, folks expect us to starve.
Yeah.
Like how? How do you continue to expect for the community to rise when you are literally cutting off their nutrients every single time? And then we show up to places where I ain't even getting fed. Don't even bother to ask. But you continue to show up because you deeply believe in this. And so that's my question around where is the true system of accountability? How do we make sure that the power stay in check enough to know and to value, right? The inputs. That's the accountability.
That is this.
We need to understand that. We need to understand what are the opportunities for us to hold each other
And
accountable.
I think that conversation, and I wholeheartedly will say this, that is a part 2. Because we do need to wholeheartedly figure this out. And for everybody listening, this is why I also have no problem having these conversations, because if an Erica doesn't say it, if a Miss Vicky doesn't bring it up, if the other questions before, like, no, it needs to be said, hey, FYI. Right? And so we got to figure it out. I don't have like a magic wand for this one, to be honest.
Yeah.
In this moment.
Okay. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you did, I wouldn't believe the answer.
I know.
So it's like,
I was like, I don't think you would expect me to know.
And that is also the like demonstration in the sitting in it.
Yeah.
I know you're not going to have an answer. This is way too complex for any of us to have an answer. And if we don't start the conversation.
But the question is it's meant to put things in motion.
Yeah.
Not necessarily in this moment to figure it out, but it's meant to put things in motion.
Let's see, we have jumped all over the place. Is there anything that you want, right? Is there anything that you would like to, okay, let's go back a little origin story. So we did enter the space, shared space with the village under the Imagine Nashville project, sort of initiative. There were touch points, y'all been along for the ride. I think my curiosity to you is, like, what is the learning from the mayor's office and community foundation sort of standing side by side and saying we will do a thing, to the actual mechanics or logistics, right, of literally a project that was funded and then absorbed into a space that was intentionally cross-sector and lacked true vision or leadership. Like it's a very meta question, but I would love for you to untangle some of the learnings. And not from a particular vantage point, genuinely from this is how things in community roll and then unravel. Catch some knots along the way.
So I will tell you, and I will say my learning lesson for this would be, and it's hard for me because I like to be able to do things and check stuff off a list and to do it well, to be like, yes, we got that. Look at us. We moved this from A, B, C, and D. And when I tell you specifically with that example, it has been humbling as a person, as a professional, to know that it is sometimes messy. It is so much red tape, so much bureaucracy, and trying to figure out how to sustain something or even begin something that potentially outlives you in this particular space is really, really hard in this context. Specific, when I say the learning lessons from local government, I'm still having aha moments about how to navigate something, how to sustain programming, how to make sure key voices are not just heard, but a part of the process. It's hard. It's messy. Did we get it right? Are pieces of the work outside of us still going? It's great. Was it necessarily what we particularly intended? No. Right. And I've got to sit with that. I've got to be okay with a picture being painted sometimes where it's not always what I envision it to be. It is humbling.
I think what's been interesting for me in reflecting on the situation is one, there was no playbook. And sometimes for me, that's exciting. Coming into the village, there were some plays. We were able to craft a playbook. Walking into that space with that many hands, with that many power dynamics, I was not excited about not having a playbook, but I knew that there was possibility.
Yeah.
And I think what I committed to along the way was bringing us along in very intentional ways and figuring out, as Dr. Hildreth talks about, what were my field goals. So if I get to be in front of Rotary, I get to be in front of Rotary.
Yeah.
You know, if we are hosting a town hall to talk about it, like let's really talk about it, and not just the thing. Let's dig deeper. Let's get curious and allow that to drive something else. I think even with this community safety task force, what are our wins within this larger knot that's sort of blowing, right? I think that was the lesson. Now, as an achiever, not being able to say we did this thing is a real struggle. We're still swallowing.
And here's the thing. I mean, that doesn't go away.
Yeah.
Right. In terms of us still, like, even if it's a month from now, like Erica, I might see a path forward. That does not go away, right? Because I think we still have to figure out ways to make it happen.
Yeah.
Sometimes, in spite of, or not,
or I also say it was a moment in time that gave us data and opportunity to have conversations. And at the end of the day, how are we leveraging those opportunities to build relationships?
Yeah.
People were able to intersect with a process that maybe they would have been outside of, because there was an opportunity to build that relationship. So before we close out,
yes,
if there are any final questions, y'all go ahead and throw them to me in the chat. I can't see Facebook, so if there was something happening there, I don't know. But if you drop a question in the Zoom chat, I can ask really quickly. Fran, what's bringing you joy?
What is bringing me joy? Reading. Nothing of substance.
Which is love that for you.
People always say, like, what biography? I'm not.
Right? Do you know my dad? Do you see what I do?
Not doing it all day. And so after I finished sitting in silence, and doing things, I've just been like reading. Like a lot, and I've been enjoying that. I like a good, like, temporarily mental escape. So that has been.
You gotta give us a book.
Oh Lord, what am I? Oh, okay. So I just reread for the second or third time the entire series of Crazy Rich Asians. I love the books are. That's why I typically choose one or the other, the movie or the book. I saw the movie, I feel like I need more. The books are so much better.
Wow.
It gives you just like the historical context, like it digs into like culture, like it's so good. And so I've reread it again, all three of them.
All three. I actually started. I'm about a quarter way through last night at the Telegraph Club. It's also in a Chinese American coming of age story. That's why I mentioned it. And he'll take me to another place that I know absolutely nothing about.
That's what I'm saying. That's the beautiful part about it.
I love it.
I do want to leave y'all with this. The work that you all are doing, I don't want it to not be seen. That's one. And so I invite this crew. Reach out to me and say, Brittany, I would love to elevate this on the mayor's channels. Like, our comms team is game. To work with you all to highlight the work you're doing. I will say, if you are interested in learning more about local government, what does it look like? How does it run? What makes us tick? My city applications are currently open. Right now, they open June 15th and they will close July 23rd. Apply. It is a great way, once again, for all of those pieces and people that I spoke about, for you to like get oriented around. They will 9 times out of 10 be a part of the process.
we will make sure that we include some information on our socials with that as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
As always,
It's such a pleasure.
invite me back.
I mean, this is just nice. So yes, thank you all for joining us. I'm gonna kick it over to Shekinah because I think she's gonna tell you all about our amazing programming that we have going on through summer.
Thank you, Erica. Thank you, Brittany, again for facilitating such an amazing conversation. Thank you all again for joining us. I want to run through this really quickly because I also want to leave some space for y'all to tell us what's happening in your worlds. And of course, I'll have a more thorough event calendar that will be published in our newsletters and on our websites, but just want to give a few things a shout out. Of course, we know next Wednesday we will be co-working back in our co-working space in our co-working mode. So you can meet us at Kahawa Coffee Shop. We'll be back. Just no heavy programming, just a very loose, come all, all are welcome at Kahawa. So there's no RSVP necessary for that. Just come co-work with us, network, be in community, share that space with us. And then the following Wednesday, we will be not having a village meeting in honor of the 4th of July. And so we want to heavily endorse this theme this summer of just being in wellness. And so in lieu and in spirit of that, we won't be having a village meeting the first Wednesday in July. And then you will be able to just kind of keep up with all of our summer wellness series. This summer, we're going to be doing things like hiking. We're going to be hosting a series of events around this theme of wellness. And we also will be heavily amplifying and in partnership with a few of our village organizations who are also doing wellness events this summer. And so if there's any events that you are hosting just specifically around the idea and the theme of wellness, please let us know. Please send it to, our emails and all the things, and we love to share that. We also have a very special offering that I'm really excited to share with y'all in partnership with Day 7. We will be just kind of underwriting some memberships with Day 7 if you are familiar with Day 7. If not, we'll have some info going out about that soon. So please make sure that you are signed up for our text messages because we also have some exclusive offerings that we'll be dropping in there. And again, some information that we'll be including in our newsletter. So just make sure that you are signed up and stay in tune for all the things. But again, looking forward to seeing y'all next week at Kahawa, and then that following Wednesday. Hope that you all will, take whatever time that you need to celebrate and rest and do all the things. I do want to leave some time for y'all to come off mute if need be. And that is all that I have to share with y'all. Everything else will be in the newsletter. So if anybody would like to come off mute, feel free. I'll stay on a few extra minutes if anybody needs to contact me about anything. But if y'all have any special announcements, please feel free to do so. Going once, going twice. Okay, well, thank y'all so much for joining us. Again, we'll see y'all next week. Looking forward to seeing y'all in person next week at Kahawa. And I hope y'all enjoy the rest of y'all week. Thank y'all for joining us.